All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Chart Talk with ABK and Peyton Pips. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and pass this over to P. He's gonna talk about some charts, right? He's gonna do some chart talk, right? You know that's what we're here for. So go ahead, P.
That chart talk. You already know. Here's something I'm looking at on Bitcoin. We're gonna go over this in a second. It's an eerily similar pattern. And then here, what we're gonna do first before we go over that is we're gonna go over the trades that we called in the Telegram channel. So, um, let me make sure that we can all see this, and I'm gonna slide this Telegram up here. And so we have, let's see, why isn't it going back? There we go. On the Telegram today, we called two trades. We called a buy limit on EU and a buy limit on Bitcoin. The first one we're going to look at is this buy limit on EU and see what went right, what went wrong. And we technically didn't get into the trade at first. So we had some news this morning and we were trying to play off that news. Basically, we said it was either going to hit or hit stop loss or hit TP. And here's the news play that we were looking at. You know, the impulse was all right, but the market is just super bullish. So we were playing off of this lower high, higher, or higher high, higher low type situation and looking for the market to put in another possible higher low. And right off the news, the market was right here. Right off the news, we got a spike down and our order was right at the 78.6. It missed it barely and then ended up going almost 1 to 3. So this one, once it missed here, it left this wick. We deleted the order and then it came back into here. And since the order was deleted, we didn't have to worry about this. Would have been a stop loss getting hit if you kept the order, but we said delete that order. And so that was a little bit upsetting. I'm not gonna lie, I was actually hot from that. I was like, I was done trading for the whole year after that. I was pissed. And then yeah, it came back. Of course, we didn't play it again. Now, the other trade that we called out was Bitcoin. And let's just look at that real quick. Bitcoin here, you can see the impulse, and we're waiting for that 78.6 as well. Same thing, but ultimately this one has been deleted as well. And sadly, this one's actually would have been working out in our favor with this being the stop in TP1, TP2's up here. So yeah, this would have been a so far so good trade, but I said delete it because this is what I'm looking at now. I was trying to figure out if we were at the top or bottom of this parabolic move, and I have a feeling that this could be something possible. Now, the way to play this, there's two different ways we could play this. If you don't know what this is a Wyckoff distribution schematic, and this is what happens at the top of the top of markets. You know, a lot of people like to draw like head and shoulders patterns or rising wedges. Essentially, that's what this is. It is a rising wedge pattern, but it has a lot more characteristics to it. And if you can clearly see, the only thing that isn't almost picture perfect on this is this UT right here is not above the buying climax. So that's literally the only thing on this chart that isn't picture perfect. You have the PSY, and then the buying climax, the automatic rally, the stopping action, the sign of weakness, and then we have the up thrust. But the up thrust didn't really break. You know, it didn't give the best up thrust. These schematics aren't always going to be perfect. This is also could be just another like ST, really. Multiple STs happen in phase B. And then you get the UTAD. not the best like looking test, but on the lower time frame, if you go to the 1 minute, you can see this type of move right here, which is exactly what this is right here. And then you get a mark down fast, and then now we're getting another move down. With where we are in the chart, I do believe it's possible. Now, the two ways to play it are you can when the market gets back into this area, you can look for a downside move, looking for a last point of supply, or you can wait for it to get down into here. And once it does, or if it does get into here with this type of pattern, okay, right here, the sign of weakness should come through and break through all the way coming down into the next area. So we're going to move this up. And the next area of volume, let's put some indicators on the chart now. It's going to come down into here, right? So a clean shot all the way down to 21, 24, or 21.4, basically, just right into this area. And that would be, an easy shot. And ultimately, if this is a topping pattern, then we'll get a lot more downside to this. But it very well could have one more move up. I could be getting kind of faked out here on this, no doubt about it. I could be getting faked out. The sign of weak, or really what it could be is the trade that I was looking at first could play out, right? So here's what I was looking at first yesterday to try to catch one more wave to the upside, but I just think it's too risky now. To catch this impulse, it hit the 78.6, and then ultimately this would be kind of a wick on the 4-hour and daily, but probably won't be able to see it, all this stuff on there. Let's hide that.
Yeah, this for me personally, I see this. There's this fib on the daily that could possibly hold overall from that. Yep, from that 25K right there. Yeah. Which will ultimately, if that holds, then I think that can take us ultimately back down to where we would want to buy it up to, if we're going to look for a buy after it retraces to that downside.
So I'm highlighting that fib, the 78.6 of the fib, so I can kind of delete that.
I was actually kind of surprised that it held this well. It really held well. And with the move yesterday that it made, that's even why I brought it up this morning. I'm like, man, I don't know.
Well, if it's making, and here's the thing that I want to do better at as well. Whenever we get this type of confirmation in an area like this at the 78.6 macro 78.6, it's not like it's just a little random area. No, this is a big time area that the market, doesn't have a whole lot of swing areas like this, right? And so when it does get into a macro swing, that's important. And then not only that, when it creates an actual beautiful pattern like this, wherever I put the other one, like this, no one knows what it's going to do, but at this point, I think we have great confirmations to look for this play right here. Just a ton of
honestly, that's looking sell stop material to me, bro.
Yes,
that's very much sexy sell stop opportunity right there.
Very much, and ultimately, I don't know about this play here. I think this could be an opportunity as well, to catch like a good entry on it. It's something that we could look at in the morning. I don't want to play that before before we're going to bed or something, because this could just, I don't know. Either way. But yeah, this is definitely something we want to look at. And to confirm the, I would say, weakness in the crypto market, which we need to see. Let's go over to Ethereum and let's look at what happened and let's compare these two real quick because these are the strongest and everyone needs to remember that. We'll put Bitcoin over here and we'll put Ethereum. We'll put Bitcoin at the 1 hour and we'll put Ethereum at the 1 hour. And I want to show y'all the swings because they're lining up kind of interesting. Let's take this guy off so we can see a little better. Okay. This move here that we had, this break, which is the UTAD up here, did not make a new high on Ethereum. So the big push up on Bitcoin, no. Lower high on Ethereum. So as Bitcoin is still showing this strength, Ethereum is not. And as you see here, we have the same type of parabolic push. They all do, really. And once the parabolic move gets broken, and we can just draw it like this. Once the parabola gets broken, we get the move down, and usually that's when you get a correction of some sort. And yes, it can just go sideways, so this could just do this and then make another move, but usually you get like a deep correction off of these. And we can go back in history and look at this a little bit, which I think we might do a little bit to see how these structures play out, because we're getting a great opportunity on Bitcoin possibly. I want to look back in time just for a second at the bull runs, and y'all see how this hasn't quite yet, I don't believe, broken out of its parabolic move that it has made. So we're kind of not anticipating it, but basically anticipating. All right. I want to go back to these times. Let's go to the bull runs that we've seen in the past that have really nice, and like this is I think this might be an area we could look at. AB, do you have any specific dates that you remember of like parabolic moves, or could you go into the chat and type in like parabolic and see if there's any specific dates that come up, because I want to
sure, let me
try to find here some other structures that look very similar.
Oh snaps, I have this on.
And here's one that looks similar to what Ethereum looks like right now. So we can play off that a little bit, but we have this big O uptrend and then the break.
So you had talked about this. This was back in May 13th, 2022. You had said 2011 accumulation phase, 2012 Bitcoin halving, 2013 price goes parabolic, 2014 bearish year. Same thing with 2015, same thing with 2019, and so now 2023 accumulation Bitcoin halving for the 2024 price goes parabolic 2025, and then 2026 bearish year. That's the first thing that you mentioned about parabolic. And then the second thing was back in May 13th of 2022. And you said this is a 12-month chart on Bitcoin. So it's mostly higher time frame stuff that you're talking about in the chat.
What about me and your chat?
Oh, in our chat, I don't know why I didn't think about that, because that's what has the real sauce in it. Damn. On 4 hour and lower. Yeah, nothing, surprisingly enough, nothing serious. I mean, the last time that you talked about something parabolic in our chat, was literally back in 2021.
That's crazy.
That's funny.
Well, I'm gonna find whenever it starts to drop off. Then
If I remember correctly, parabolic timing. Wait, are you? So do you want 2020, like 20, like COVID parabolic timing, or before COVID
I
type stuff?
guess here's a good parabolic stuff back here is really where we want to look, and then
Yeah,
I'll look in after 2018 as well.
yeah. I was gonna say, do you can do yeah before 2018. That was another good parabolic move.
Man, these things just take off sometimes, don't they? Well,
Without
if
any
it's in a
correction.
when they're in a bull market, which we're not, when they are in a bull market, they will literally do that parabolic shit and then spike down, make everyone think they're not gonna go, and then go up again. And it's just not even fair.
Yeah.
Um, let me find because I want to compare this structure to something because I've seen this, I've seen it so many times. But I can't. I guess I can't point it out per date like that. But I've seen Bitcoin especially make so many parabolic moves up that it's ridiculous. Let's see here. These are the areas that we can look at for reference. All right. I feel like we're getting close to something like this right now with Bitcoin. Come on, TradingView. Quit. I can't. It's like it moved so much. Jesus. Is this a what's the percentage gain right here? Because
That's a
we
lot
need to
right
go to
there.
log
Dang.
from like here to here. That's only 33%. That looks like way more. That's exactly
It's
like
cause
what we're
the
looking
one
at.
hour. It's the 1 hour. Cause remember, bro, from the time that when I called that, or not even when I called, but when we were talking about that, bullish, when we were talking about the cryptos were looking good. That's only been how many? That's only been like about a 50% increase, right? And that was from November. That was from November to now. This is only like a couple. This is only like half a week, I think.
So this is a good example. Sometimes it won't completely die. It'll just go sideways. And then if it's a real bull market, it'll go sideways, correct, and then go up again. So this is kind of what we're looking to happen right now. Once a parabolic move gets broken, then there's usually a sideways period or an instant correction. And right now, I think we're going to get a period of similar to this. So um, we could see one more move up technically on this is what this is showing. Let's look at another parabolic move on. This is showing it on Ethereum. So let's go to Bitcoin again. And yeah, this parabolic move hasn't even gotten there yet. Let's throw an EMA on there. That's not an EMA. For reference to see where we might be, let's take that off. Make sure this is the right EMA. I've been messing with my stuff. Chart 50 EMA. Okay. Let's make it to 200. For some reason, I feel like that'll be a better one. Okay, so we'll be able to see how this thing is really moving. On Bitcoin right here, we didn't touch this 50 EMA until the correction, right? Once once it actually broke through the parabolic move, the 50 EMA was the like, hey, I'm kind of done with this. So it might have one more move up after the 50 EMA. It gets tapped right here, but it's kind of suggesting that it's getting ready to be done. Let's look and see after this move if there was another parabolic run, which yes, there was. And this was the real parabolic move to where you don't even, I don't even think you need a parabolic line. It just hit a trend line like crazy. I'm gonna go to the 4-hour to look at that. I hate how you switch time frames and it doesn't stay where you were. That's not cool. Big ass move up. And the way it fell was the same type of distribution that we're looking at on the 15-minute. Here is exactly what we're looking at on the 15-minute. And then it did it even bigger on the daily. This whole thing is distribution pattern 101. Right? So we had the PS, BS or BC, AR, ST, sign of weakness. This is the up thrust or UTAD, kind of a single tap up here. And then just the last point of supply is obvious right here with the UTAD. After the UTAD, I mean. And this is kind of like what we're wanting to see now on the 15-minute. We want to see this move to confirm that we're going to get a mark down. And it's all fractal. So now we're over here on the 15-minute. And we're just waiting on that, on this chop. We're waiting on the chop. XRP does this move a lot. Let's go to XRP on the 4-hour. And here, actually, I know it just recently did it on the 1, I believe. Yep. Okay. Let's see if that was a good example or this one's better. I gotta start highlighting it. I can't see it on the 1-hour. Here we go. This is a good push up I want to look at. Yep. Nice little parabolic move here. And then once it breaks, we get the correction. The move up here is this is literally what we're waiting for, pretty much. This move. And then we'll look for that markdown. Real quick, I want to look at the market. We're going to check out the market, AB. How do you feel about what the dollar did today? Because, wow, it is literally confusing me to all heavens.
Honestly, the dollar is tripping, is really tripping. But from what I'm seeing at this point, okay. So my thing is, since it hasn't broken through this zone yet, and it came down here, 1, 2, like this large zone in general, has just been holding down here for since the 12th, right? And it's been just consolidating in this range multiple times. It's tried to break out of this little downward trend line or downward channel, if you want to call it that, multiple times as well. I don't know if I feel so good about the bears. As much as I want price to really break through this little structure and then pop up, I don't know how good I feel about it anymore. quite honestly.
I feel you. It's not wanting to break, but what are you waiting for to buy it then? Why didn't you buy it right here?
Why didn't I buy it right there? Because wait, what do you mean? Why did I? Where? Like, show me on lower time frames or? Oh, right at that low. Man, listen, I'm not gonna buy just off of because price is at a support or at a resistance or anything like that. I definitely would have rather preferred a deeper manipulation play. I still feel like the play that was down here on the 18th was the more of the manipulation play than anything else that has happened on the dollar. You know what I mean? And even
I'm
with
still
that,
waiting on this.
yeah, I would rather prefer either waiting for that or I want to see this high here at 102.6. I want that to get broken for me to really feel good about the buys. Now, if, like, let's say that if 102.325 got broken and there was good confirmations, then yeah, I'd be down to buy that as well. But like I said, 102.700, like just that area right there, I'd rather have that broken before I look for any buys, or the play that you have. Either or is what I'm looking for.
So waiting for a bullish manipulation setup
Dang, I forgot to switch
before
this.
buying the DXY pairs, or waiting for bullish structure to form.
Because if this bullish structure were to form, would you not play the buys? Even
Yeah,
though you do want to see the price go lower?
these are the two in this order. I want to obviously this one.
You
It's my
want the
favorite.
yeah, you want the
But
manipulation for
this,
sure.
if this happens, so I'll draw that as well. If this happens, then I think it's only right to look for that move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh,
Like I said, 102.700 is super safer, but even with that you just drew, like
yeah,
I'm down for it.
this is like the real deal trend change, though.
Yep. Yep, exactly. Like
This
what
will be like
the
I
okay,
would
I'm
just
down
play
to
it
I'm exactly. Mhm, exactly.
because this would be a textbook like baby trend change here, uh, a possible trend shift here, and then this would be the play that is getting taken. So
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that, like technically.
Yeah, same.
Um,
Like
so these
that's
are
the
the
type of time
two,
I'm
and
on
I'll
now.
do. Let's see if it'll let me do this. Nah, okay, I know what I need to do.
Um I don't
It
want to really
looks
look
like
at
we have
RB.
about 3 minutes left on the Zoom for me and you.
5
Um,
minutes from what it says, but
yeah,
you might
you're
be
right.
more
You're right.
accurate.
Myself three. Let me see. What did you say about the RB or whatever?
I said I was gonna look at it, but I'm like, no, never mind. I don't wanna.
Okay. Well, we'll keep this here for tomorrow, or yeah, tomorrow we'll come back and look at this. It is creating this what is it, like a descending
Descending
triangle, and
triangle.
usually they do break to the downside, but I'm just not a fan of the downside yet. I do want to get this price again over here on this chart for whatever reason why it keeps not getting stuck on my chart. It needs to. This is an important price for a monthly point of control that's still open, and then I swear there was one other one that was a little closer because that's far away. Oh, yep, here we go. Here we go. And this is a weekly point of control that's open.
Dang, EU.
So this is kind of the two, and that's the one that we need to look at. So that first one right there, that weekly POC that's open that has not been tapped from a long time ago, that's going to be the play really. Once it taps into that, we kind of got to just either you know, play this white play right here. Either one, we can try to take a shot right here, or we can wait for it to suck back up into the range and then have a really high probability shot right there. But this is not what's the word? It's not it's not guaranteed. It could easily, if it does this, it could just keep going. So it might be an opportunity right here for some people. Let's look at EU. So it's going to be the opposite.
Man, listen, bro. I don't understand. I'm not really feeling the way how EU and the DXY are looking. Exactly. That's what I'm seeing on the euro. But when I put it on the DXY, it's a little bit more.
Yeah, they're a little. This one's doing a little bit more of this. The DXY is doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a little iffy. I would like this to break more
Structure before you short
structure,
it. Exactly.
even though it did not beautifully, but like it did technically break that low, just a hair. It's
one of those plays. It's one of those plays where it's like, damn, it barely broke structure, and as much as I see the opportunity there, I don't necessarily want to play it.
What I think is a better opportunity is that if we could just have a little more patience and watch this zone break, the next move that it pulls back will be a solid play.
I mean, bro, I'm not going to hold you. I just hope that at this point, if it is going to do that, I just hope that the EU just keeps dropping and doesn't even try to go to the 78.6. I hope it just, if it is going to do that, let it just do it tomorrow or tonight and tomorrow, and then we're good. I'm about to say,
like, it doesn't do this.
Yeah, I just wanted to at this point just go.
So you don't maybe take that trade.
I mean, I don't want to be like, damn, well, it's here, I gotta take it now type of thing.
Dude, I just feel like this is setting up for one more. Like,
hey,
it didn't
join this other
seal
Zoom.
off yet.
Hold on, join this other Zoom though.
Okay, bet. Okay, so yeah, I feel like there's still just a little possibility that could get swept, and if it does, and then we get this sharp move, that would be what we're looking for, opposite on the dollar. So I mean, I would actually like for it just to do this as well, really, probably.
Because
just so we can have a shot.
Exactly, because at this point, and it's just like,
it's less waiting.
Yeah, because at this point, I'm just like, dang, man, I've narrowed down my pairs and stuff like that so that I can be able to not have to feel guilty about seeing so many different setups per day or anything like that, right? And so me seeing this EU, for me just to get a trade, I'd rather have to trade if price just keeps dropping and then I get to play next week type of thing. Or, I mean, if it does come up, then I'll play it, but I'm going to have to play it half risk, versus if it would break that zone right there, I'm more than fine with playing it full risk.
Right.
Type of thing, you know? But I'll still be, like, if the ABC's up there, yeah, I'll still be down to play it, but
I mean, look, if it gets there like this at 6:15, I might have to play it with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't. trying to say like, oh well, there's equal highs here and the market's going to take that. That's okay. If that's the case, then buy right now. You know, I hate when people say that. It's like no one knows what the market's going to do.
Nobody knows.
So it's a good shot if it makes this move up here, if it gets there by London almost, because it could just reverse right now. This would be a clean ABC.
Yeah,
So
even if yeah, that's right. So it's not bad because it
it's
did
not a
break the
bad
previous
look.
structure. It did,
Let me
and I
look
can't
at
ignore
GU.
it. Yeah, take a look at GU. Let's see what GU is looking like.
One thing that I do that I don't know if I've ever shared with you, but it doesn't matter really right now because you're not really looking at other markets, but I know other people might get some from this, is if other markets, like if this GU or AU look like they're gonna make a new high, 9 times out of 10 EU is gonna make a new high the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like very rarely are you really gonna be able to spot the one that doesn't make the new high, especially unless you're like a super divergence reversal type trader. But let's look at GU. It has a similar, I would say, sort of a distributional pattern as well, with no up thrusts. So that's kind of making me think that there's going to be, oh yeah, there's definitely going to be, most likely going to be one more shot on to the highs on GU. And the reason I say that is just because, number one, it's bullish, like on the lower, even 4-hour time frames, with a little bit of divergence. So that's a little bit of a bearishness, but got some divergence there. I just do not see the bears yet. It's similar to EU, how if we're gonna see bears, we need to break structure majorly, and it did break really nice right here, but then it came right back into it. So, you know, it was bullish, bullish, bullish. Oh, we look bearish. Psych, we're bullish again. So there's no bear or bull play, in my opinion, right here. I think it will probably break this high, and depending on what it does here, if it comes back into this, we have a very good idea of what's about to happen. But if it doesn't, if it just continues to go and it kind of does something like this, it's probably going to take off. The next area on GU for volume, or just the next area it's going to run to right here. So we'll watch for that, but I'm not a fan of how this looks. I will say that with GU looking like this and EU looking like this, they are probably going to make one more push up just to kind of clear the board. AU is very bullish as well with some divergence.
Yeah, and that's when it comes to like is with the dollar, because the dollar overall, it looks like it wants to make one more push to the downside as well, right?
Exactly.
So it's
exactly. So
yeah,
if the dollar has that possible one more push, and these all look like they have one more possible push, the probability starts to gain traction to the dollar heading one more push down. But no one knows. U-Chef is one of my favorites, and I think it has this possibility that this was like a spring, and then we could make this move out of here.
Yeah,
it's definitely not confirmed yet, but I'm starting to see that possibility.
Nah,
Let's go to the 1 hour.
I definitely agree with you on that. That it looks definitely clean like that.
If we get obviously this like range right here, and I know this is a high, and like, but if we get this range to break out eventually, then that's what's going to confirm it. Even if we start to make like highs like this, it'll really start to give some good idea to this. So what we can maybe look at is U-Chef leading the way a little bit on this possible bullish dollar that we're waiting on, that we're anticipating, because at this point, UChef has kind of made this move away from the low versus all of these are right there at their new lows. It's like the dollar. This is the swing low that I just circled on UChef. Okay, so the UChef is way stronger, and that's what we can kind of lean on if we're looking for a bullish move tomorrow on the dollar. I think this might be the opportunity that we can really take advantage of, unless it just takes off tonight. But if we get a nice correction off this, we might have an opportunity tomorrow for a good trade on this. It did do some 5-minute steal off right before this news, and so it did create a very nice mini manipulation play. So it's something to look for tomorrow. I'll put this on my alerts. Move this up a little bit. Wanted to point that out, the strength that UChef is showing versus the other markets. Same with UJ, honestly, how it has that, that was that L we took, and then it's just kind of not really hit this low yet. So that's interesting. Gold is a very interesting play, and I'm just zooming through the market at this point. In a macro area off the 71 fib that we like to look at off of this macro volume. Okay, so very, very much in a macro area that could at least retrace from. You see how it's just made an insane run, good for gold, but now it's time to correct. It is what it is. So we're really waiting for the structure to start to shift. It looks exactly like EU, honestly. How this is the main structure that really needs to break. And if it can do that, we will really see probably a fast move down, because gold is crazy. But this is starting to give me those type of vibes. We have the kind of steal off right here, and then a sharp move down. If it would have broke a little bit more, guys, I'd be all over this. And I still might be, just like EU. If this comes up here and gives an opportunity, it might be worth it. So we'll be watching that. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing. Tripping out? No, not yet. Okay, I want to go over to some other forex pairs like UCAD real quick, and I want to show how this is in a spring type position as well, possibly. So kind of correlating with the dollar a little bit. How it's just in this area right here, possibly creating a spring. And if it goes any lower and dips out, watch for that for y'all UCAD traders. We got the bullish divergence present. EA has been sliding on this but it's in an interesting zone. So I'm just bringing this up because in an interesting zone right here. Let's look at this on the 4-hour. And I don't trade EA a lot, but if we do get a big bounce out of here, it might be a good area to look for a trade. There is some bullish divergence present as it's making this move down, so you could see momentum start to just snap up. And that's what I'm saying. If it does create this, watch for something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a trend line on here and really just kind of wait for this to bust out. Wait for this 50 EMA to bust out with confluence like this, and we should see a pretty clean move up. Really, really easy, clean look on that. So I'm actually gonna put an alert on the 50 EMA, 200 EMA. That makes it better. That makes it super better. If it breaks that, I forgot I'm on the 200. E.g., I was looking at this as a possibility, but it's not my thing. E.g. on the daily,
EG, I would have to play it on a 1 hour with all that
yeah,
with all that liquidity to the downside, or
I
like
feel
not
that.
even, and then even on the freaking daily. Oh my lord, yeah, even on the daily, that's a whole lot.
Yeah, there's a
I,
lot right here.
there's a
Just wait.
lot waiting on the daily. Never mind, like the one
I'm surprised
hour
we didn't see this. Wait, why didn't we see
because
this?
we weren't trading freaking EG.
No, we weren't, but that was pretty.
It was very
Damn.
pretty. Like you see this 1 hour right here. Even this is kind of scary for me to try to play.
Yeah, I don't like that there's like this low, then this low. I don't know. That's not my. I just don't
Yeah, that's
like
more of an AB fib thing right there. When it does those three lows things right there, that's more of an AB
if it
fib than
does
anything.
this though and creates three wave divergence, we might have to try to find an entry somewhere right here on some.
It's funny because I'm looking on YouTube and that one chick Tori trades. She's live too.
Yeah. What?
She's live.
Oh, that's
Should I
funny.
go on her live? No, I'm just. I ain't gonna do that. She's
Just go
cool.
on a live and tell them to come over here. No.
No, she's cool people, so I ain't gonna do that. But I do want because bro, I've never even tapped into any of her live sessions. I'm gonna tap in one day and see what she's talking about.
Yeah, she seems cool.
But man, I'm remember what I sent you. I'm like, hey, we ain't the only one, so hey, it's cool.
Right? That was. I was like, oh, okay.
But she's real
I
as fuck
think
though.
the
I fucks with her for that. I fucks with her
she
for
has a
that.
good uncle mentor.
Yeah, you and I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, man, whoever mentored her, he's awesome. And I
Man, this,
appreciate that she be real and be saying like, yo, I've been doing this for like 7 8 years and I'm barely getting being a fully
right?
like fully freedom trading that, and I'm like, damn, that's real.
Yeah, she's a real one, and I respect her for that.
Definitely respect
Um,
her.
man. Well, do you have anything you wanna look at?
Other than
I'm
GJ,
excited. I'm
okay,
excited for this Bitcoin, bro. I think this Bitcoin is gonna tank,
yeah, I feel like it is too, honestly, but
and I'm
G.
really saying that because the buy isn't gonna play out.
This movie's like because the buy didn't play out for me, I needed to take now. What was I gonna say? GJ, if it broke 160.620, would you be down for the 5 minute to 15 minute sells either tomorrow or Monday/Sunday? Basically,
Okay,
if it broke
DJ.
the 1 hour 50 EMA, or would you need it to break 160.050?
I'll tell you this. If it breaks
Oh, if
this
it breaks
high,
that, bro. Oh, that if it breaks that, I'm fully expecting it to go to 166.162.
it's either gonna do this or straight there, like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Because
Well, yeah, exactly. Because look at all that volume that's not there. Like,
it's happened once, twice,
I'm
right
fully
here.
expecting it to do that. Like, hell yeah. I'm just talking about for the
Three.
next session or two.
No, I know, but look how fast it moves. We're just in this area.
That's actually kind
Whenever
of
price
funny.
gets, whenever price gets here, it doesn't like this price. It says no thanks every time.
That's actually kind of funny.
And so if it gets back in between, if I mean literally, if it makes a new high, it should do this like it's been doing. It just rolls straight up. And so We could look for buy stops if it doesn't like obviously do what you want, but if it does, then I think a break of this. Let's see. It's kind of ugly. I wouldn't love any trade inside of this, to be honest. But uh,
No, I feel that for sure.
yeah, it would need to break this probably, but even that is kind of
Yes,
yeah,
EU, keep
that would be
going.
kind of that would be kind of clean.
All right.
I could see that.
Dow Jones. Oh, I'm surprised you didn't look at
Yeah,
the
the
indices at
indices. I
all.
haven't looked at the indices.
Dow Jones, it's getting to that. It's getting to that level. It's getting to that level on the 1 hour, and it's getting there pretty. It's not
Chill out.
ABC, but I like the way how it's getting up there. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Yeah, it's definitely chilling. The momentum is chilling. From here to here, we have divergence, so that's good. Um, this is definitely an area where, I mean, it really should it's either gonna pop into here, create a like distribution pattern on the lower time frame, and then fall, or it's just gonna like say fuck this and go. Um, but I'm so here for this move, I think.
Bro, do you know how many jobs they say they're expecting to lay off, like this quarter? Like,
No.
it's in like the if I'm not mistaken like 250,000 like this quarter area
What the hell?
or something like that. Dang, I forgot where I saw that. I gotta go look. I gotta go check out the source again. Let me see if it's the source that I'm thinking about. Then I'm just like, damn, that's crazy.
Man, one thing I know though is these indices, they start to get like a little bullish vibe and they just don't stop sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mm-hmm.
for no reason they'll start moving up. And it's just like, wait, the economy sucks. There is bearish divergence on all of them on the 4 hour. So that's beautiful to see. Like really solid to see the divergence on the 4 hour. That means at any moment they could just roll over. So if we have divergence on the four, and I'm gonna look at Nasdaq because it's kind of leading the
Yeah, I'm about to
way.
be like, look at Nasdaq. Look at Nasdaq.
Nasdaq's divergence is obvious on the 4 and the 1 hour.
You're gonna like what it did. I think on the
Ooh,
lower time frames. Oh
that
wow.
daily
Ooh, the
candle
daily.
though. Wow, that's hard to go against.
Oh wait, that's what it did today or
Yeah.
yesterday? Oh my goodness. Ooh, that's hard.
Ooh, coming right into the 50. So we're literally about to see a freaking battle go on the indices tomorrow. Nasdaq is about to go on a battle. This is not the 50 EMA. This is the 200 EMA. This is
Ooh.
big. This is big presence right here that's about to come step in. Every single
Yeah,
institution trader, I feel
every
like,
like
looks at
yeah, the big ballers are gonna be looking at that for sure. They're gonna be like, yeah, I don't know. And even
I
with
don't
that wick right there, I don't know if it's getting. I don't think that wick is getting chased completely. To be quite
Dang, look
honest.
at this 1 hour EM 200 that just gets so much love. I think that's the only EMA I'm about to start keeping on my chart. The last EMA, the 200, the last line of support.
Right?
Um,
That's actually funny.
what I wanted to do though is I wanted to put the daily on here, and now we'll be able to see the daily.
How it fares. Ooh.
And and so when this comes into this tomorrow, we're really gonna have to watch possible rejection. That's what I'm
Because
gonna
if
be
it
looking
climbs up there, then there's like, then for sure US 30 is getting into that 78.6 fib.
for. Ooh, yep. And the sad, scary thing about the US 30 is that it's already way above its 200 on the daily, bro. Like This thing is low key starting to trend, but I'm still here for this.
Hmm.
And then let's see where this got. Ooh,
S&P is
that's
in the
not
middle.
good.
Yeah. As
But
per
we
usual,
need the
S&P.
Nasdaq to hold,
Wait,
basically.
is SPX 500 on the same type of time as US 30 with the fib? Throw that fib from that high to that low. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yep,
Same type of time. That's interesting. All right. Yeah, I
I
agree
like
with you with
that.
that Nasdaq. If it hit, as long as it hits that 200, then it's gonna be interesting to see what happens tomorrow.
If that 200 holds, we're gravy. But this also needs to like hella break
Yeah, for on the
for that
Nasdaq. All right,
because
now
this is just dumb.
go peep the VIX.
Mm. I'm gonna go to the other VIX, but after I look at this real quick, the daily VIX bearish. That's not great. Let's
Mm.
go look at it on my other one so I can look at lower time frames. Yeah, that's not the best look. I mean, there is this. There's like definitely the divergence could snap at any point. It is in this area where it has definitely moved up from in the past. It just doesn't, to me, it doesn't look like it's holding too well. But if there was a fib right there, because sometimes you have to go like this when you're looking at the VIX.
I was just about to be like line chart.
It's possible.
Mm. Very possible. But with
So
this
it's
looking
all
like how it is right now, if it drops lower, then it'd be scary because if it drops lower, I wouldn't want the VIX to drop so much more lower, because
right, right.
then it's gonna basically double bottom while we're waiting for the shorts at our areas, and that'll be scary. But
It
definitely
will
some.
give most likely bullish divergence no matter what. So that's good. Like no matter how low this goes, this is not gonna hit that momentum. I can tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be bullish divergence present, which means the momentum could snap right. This could snap back to bullish at any point when it. So that's good as well.
All right.
Oh, I want to look at oil because it had somewhat of a setup. Oh, I'm glad I didn't play it. Okay, and then I want to look at the crypto. This guy, how is he looking?
Yeah. How is for real? That's actually a good question. Okay, so he double bottom on that, but from that new peak, from I don't care for throwing the fib out like this, but zoom out a little bit. And sorry for the mouse on that. From that low where the 200, yep, you already know AB fibs, yep. Still right
Pretty
there,
close.
pretty close, huh? Interesting.
Let me see something real quick. Very interesting. So the Coinbase or like the spot price is above this 200 EMA, but I don't think the futures is. No.
Hmm. And let me see what Bitstamp looks like on that. You said the daily? It's the 200 EMA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that it's the 50 EMA on the weekly time frame, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's not even on Bitstamp. It's not even close to it either. On the other chart, how close was it again?
On the futures chart, it's under it.
It's like right under it.
Oh
I
wow, look where the stop hunt hit.
Oh, bro,
It
damn.
hit the 200 on the futures chart.
That's very interesting. That's very
That's so
interesting.
interesting.
Um,
It definitely could do this as well, but I would really anticipate this. Like this is just looking interesting.
yeah. All right,
Hmm.
bro. Is there anything else that you want to take a look at?
No, man, I think we have a pretty good look at the market right now. I'm excited for tomorrow.
All right, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night, and definitely, hmm. I'll hit you. I'll talk to you in the chat. I'll talk to you in the chat.
All right, bet, Brody.
All right, Brody.
Deuces.
Later, bro.